Humpty, Humpty Dumpty Doo. Hello, my name's Robert Pembroke. I was just looking at my picture of a primate called Sparky the Space Chimp. It was a primary school book I read when I was 6 years old in grade 1. It was at about a similar time to when the famous Jane Goodall was understudy for Professor Leakey, who studied the nature of human bones, prehistoric human bones, and attempted to create a link in our understanding between primates and humans. Jane herself did wonderful work on monkeys, which later became termed chimpanzees, yeah? So I thought I'd tell you the Jane Goodall story. Let me see now. The primatologist, Miss Jane Goodall, went to Africa to study the primate called a monkey, later termed the chimpanzee, in the nation-state of Tanzania in the continent of Africa. Her study helped to develop an understanding about the relationships of the monkey in what is called a troop. Professor Lewis Leakey, I'm not sure if it was Lewis, but Professor Leakey certainly, I thought it might have been Richard Leakey, I might be wrong there. Lewis Leakey oversaw her doctoral submission, and it was beautifully composed with correct spelling and grammar to a standard that Cambridge University in the United Kingdom expects of students, indeed scholars, all of them. Jane was excited to start her research in Africa as a young girl. She got to know the local monkey group, the troop in her area, where she made her observations, her natural observations. She got so friendly with one particular monkey that she would hand feed the wild monkey. That's amazing, because that's a wild animal, yeah? There were villagers who encouraged Jane to feed the monkey. It was wonderful, and there seemed to be a bond, a type of familiarity and intimacy that developed between Jane and the monkey. Although Jane's a scientist and she looks at things with disinterest, yeah, as scientists do. On one afternoon, Jane was talking to a very happy tribal mother, a human mother, who had just given birth to a human baby. Jane loves kids, and she even held the baby. Quite unexpectedly, a short time later, when Jane was back at her camp, the baby belonging to the mother, the human mother, at the village, it disappeared, the baby, the human baby. And unfortunately, tragically, sometime later, the entrails of the baby, the human baby, were found in the bush, bits and pieces of half-digested human flesh, entrails, etc. Apparently the monkey, this is the humanisation, the sort of, I guess, anthropomorphisation of animal to human, making humans appear to be similar and characteristic to animals or something. I think that's right, isn't it? Anthropomorphism? I'm not sure about that. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, quite unexpectedly, a short time later, when Jane was back at her camp, the baby disappeared, yeah? And people said, when they found out it was the monkey that was the culprit, they said, oh, the monkey must have got jealous of the human baby that Jane had held previously before feeding that monkey, or after feeding the monkey, and the monkey had decided to exact revenge out of envy and jealousy on the well-fed human baby that belonged to the mother in the village. The monkey and the rest of the monkey troop, it was believed, had eaten the baby, the human baby. Jane wasn't to know that, though. One shouldn't feed the animals. I know there are signs in places saying that, but people don't really think of it that way, do they? Subsequently, even though that happened, Jane's work was deemed meritorious under peer review, and today the work of Dr Jane Goodall, Professor Goodall, is considered exemplary as a scholarly academic text worthy of note. Even I had read Jane's natural observation of the primates and found it fascinating. What made me read it was her incredible animal behaviour documentaries that she did. That's what encouraged me to do it. That's what made me one of her readership. But Jane herself was absolutely overwhelmed to find out that her work had such a broad audience, including some of the major Western universities around the world, both English and non-English speaking universities. Even in Africa her work's revered. Even though people knew this had happened, it wasn't Jane's fault that it happened. Jane even received the famous Stephen Hawking Medal for science communication. Now that's quite a commendation, isn't it? What made me think of the Jane Goodall story was not only the picture of Sparky the space chimp, but the sound of a cockatoo and a nala in Brisbane, Australia recently that resembled the sound of a monkey. I thought, how could a cockatoo sound like a monkey in a city where there are no monkeys? And then what else made me think of it was the tapping sound of neighbours that resembled a type of sign language used by the monkey universally. I've travelled around the Orient quite a bit, and I've seen monkeys, and I've seen how they tap things and bang things. Now they go that sort of thing to communicate. Yeah, or they'll bang things, clack things, you know what I mean? And I was hearing these human sounds of people doing it, and that's what reminded me of this story. It's a kind of tragedy, but Jane herself, she went on and became an incredible gifted speaker, a reader in fact, in the nature of primatology, who had her learning based on the work of Professor Leakey, who himself was quite revered within academia. So without the meritorious research of Dr Jane Goodall, I would never have worked out that particular hypotheses where there is a human to animal communication between primates, monkeys say, and humans, where if one taps, then it means, say the monkey taps, it means to other monkeys, come over here, I've got something to show you. And if humans do so in a monkey habitat, they go bang, 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 clack, 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 then they're saying to the monkey, come over here, I have something for you to eat. Isn't that amazing? So thanks, Jane. I wouldn't have found that out. I wouldn't have found that out except for your story and what happened. And I think it's a really valuable story. And to me, that's why you earned your doctoral thesis. I know the work's great, but for me that was the most salient feature of the story. And I only just worked out why. So thanks very much, Jane. Mr Robert Pembroke, 15th of March 2024. Cheers. See you later.
Like the Humpty Dumpty Doo.